guys, JS Cards here, coming at you with a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile, and today we're going to go over my updated Salamangreat deck. So this is kind of the week of Cyber's deck profiles. I covered Marincess in the beginning of the week, and now we're going to go over Salamangreat. So we have the water and fire decks. Both are really fun, great decks to play. Salamangreat obviously a little more competitive. It's been around forever, and it is always adapting to the formats and still really good. It's a solid tier 2 deck, but easily, depending on the meta and everything, it can go up to tier 1.5, even tier 1. It's just a great deck. It's easy to learn. It's great for beginners. I always recommend trying to pick up Salamangreat cards if you're just starting off or getting back into the game. But yeah, I thought it'd be cool to cover Cybers, and I've done a few Salamangreat deck profiles, but again, the deck is always changing and adapting to the format. So I thought we'd cover it again today, and we'll just jump into the deck profile. Alright, so starting off with the monsters, we have 2 copies of Spinny. You don't really need the third one anymore. You don't really need 3 anymore. Actually, you don't really play many Salamangreats anymore in this deck. It's a very small Salamangreat package, but 2 copies of Spinny and 2 copies of Foxy. Again, lots of people cutting back on this. You don't really need 3. I've even seen some people play 1, but I'm comfortable with 2. I also play 2 copies of Jack Jaguar. For the one-ofs, of course, the 1 Gazelle, gotta play that. 1 Falco, and then some people play this, some don't. I just like having an extra Salamangreat name. I play the Fowl. For the other Cybers support cards, I play 3 copies of Lady Debug, along with the 2 copies of Bufferlo. So with this, I know the ratios are kind of up to you. Some people don't play Debug at all. Some people don't play Bufferlo. I like having the Debugs to search out your Salamangreats, and then Bufferlo for the draw effect. Just through testing online and just what I have seen work for me personally, I like having 3 Debug, 2 Bufferlo, but again, those ratios can be changed up however you want. And then another great card for this deck, actually just a great card in any deck really, is Parallel Exceed, 3 copies of that. And then the rest of the monster lineup is just hand traps, hand traps, hand traps. So the thing with Salamangreat is the deck has changed to go from a ton of different Salamangreat decks. Like, think about when the Soul Burner structure decks first came out. Like, you played 3 of everything, right? And then now you play, like, I don't know, 7 Salamangreats, and then the other monsters are just cyber support cards, hand traps. That's kind of the cool thing about this deck, is you can add all these texts and cool spicy cards because you're not really focused on the archetype, compared to when the deck first came out. So for hand traps, 3 copies of Ash Blossom, just a great hand trap in general. I play 2 copies of Ogre. It's not, quite as useful as some of these other ones, but it still has its moments. Same with Effect Veiler. If you have impermanences, you could even throw those in here, but for right now, we're just going with Effect Veiler. And some people have cut this completely from Salamangreat, but I am still a big fan of 3 copies of Nibiru. 2 or 3 copies would work, honestly, but just with all the special summoning and crazy decks going on, I still really like having Nibiru in the main. You could put the Gamma package in here as well, or even Droll and Lockbirds if you have them. I've been playing with Droll and Lockbird more online with other decks on EDO Pro and stuff, and Droll and Lock is really good against like Dragon Link and stuff, so that could work. But that is it for the monsters. Let's move on to the spells. For the spells, 3 copies of Signet Mining, of course. You gotta play 3 if you're playing Cybers decks. And then for the Salamangreat cards, we have 2 copies of Will. And then, of course, we have the 1 Circle with the 1 Sanctuary. So really, again, you're not maxing out on these. They're not quite as important as they used to be. I do like having the extra copy of Will, though, because we do play Pot of Desires in this deck. Speaking of which, 3 copies of Pot of Desires. Now, I did max out on this. I thought 2 was kind of awkward. 1 is not really good either. But you do play 2 to 3 copies of like a lot of your important cards and your hand traps and stuff, and your spells, even like your minings and stuff. So the banishing really doesn't hurt you, and just being able to draw 2 cards is totally worth it just to get deeper into your deck, get those combo pieces, get those hand traps that you need. So really good card. And then for the last spell, we have the 1 Monster Reborn. And then for the traps, we just play 1 of each of the traps with the Roar and the Rage. Now, I did originally play 2 of each. I believe I cut 1 for a 3rd Desires, and I believe the second one I replaced with the Monster Reborn. They're still really good traps, so if you did want to cut something and add, you know, 2 or 1 of each, 1 more of each, you could easily do so. But we went down to 1 of each just through testing. And again, if you wanted to throw in impermanences, that would be good as well, but I'm trying to keep this budget. That's the cool thing too with Salamangreats. They are quite budget. You could probably build the whole deck for maybe $100 to $150 if you wanted to, which is great, especially because they've been around forever now, and I don't think they're going to go anywhere. Hopefully the ban lists in the future even make this deck better, so we'll see, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere anytime soon. All right, now moving on to the extra deck, that's really where this deck shines. The space is so tight, so there's lots of different things you could do or include in here, but I just couldn't find the space for some of the things. But this is what we're working with so far. It's always constantly changing though, but of course the 3 Baylings. This is not going anywhere. Like, you have to just max out on these, along with 3 copies of Sunlight Wolf. This card is insane. It's my favorite card. The recent ultra rare upgrade is nice too. They look really nice. And then I played 2 copies of Heat Leo. He's not as important as the other 2, so that's why you only play 2 copies, but he's nice to go into. He's a beefy monster as well. And then just for some other really good fire types, we have, of course, the 1 Hita along with the Nightmare Phoenix. Now, I don't play access code in here. I actually don't have one. That card is kind of expensive right now. For a good reason, though. That card is insane, so if you want to play it, if you have it already, go for it. But we do play some budget code talker monsters as well. So we have the Update Jammer, which of course goes with our Code Talker Inverted and our Trans Code Talker. So this setup is really nice, and I think all these cards are, you know, $1 or maybe a couple dollars on the Trans Code Talker, and they're still very powerful. So this is a nice setup right now. And then our big boss monster, that's actually like $1 or $2 as well, is Zero Boros. I love this card. It is a great budget boss link monster. I have this in a lot of different decks. It's totally worth playing. And then for the last monster, it is our only Exceed monster in the deck, and that is Dugaris. Now this is a new addition. I was for the longest time playing the Abyss Dweller, which is still really good, but all 3 effects are really good. So depending on what you need to do in the moment, you can draw 2 cards and then discard 1, which isn't bad because you really don't mind it when some of your monsters are in the graveyard. Or you can special summon 1 monster from your graveyard, or his last effect allows you to skip your next battle phase, but you can double the attack of one of your monsters this turn. So if you're going to go for game, if you know you have it, that is a great way to ensure it as well. So he's got a few different options, which I think are really nice to have if you need them. But yeah, for right now, Dugaris is staying in the main deck. I'm going to keep playing with him and see how it goes. So there you guys have it. That is my Salamangreat deck profile. It's still a really fun deck, really good, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more. I make Yu-Gi-Oh! News, deck profiles, and opening videos. We are nearing 1,000 subscribers, which is insane, and my goal is to get there by the end of this year, 2020. Thanks for all your support so far, and if you guys would like to, you can check out all my links down below, my TCG Player affiliate link in case you want to buy any cards, as well as my social media accounts are listed down below as well, and my Discord, which I recently set up. So if you guys want to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! And other hobbies, video games, things like that, other card games, feel free to join my Discord down below. It'd be awesome for you to join the community. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more future videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out and have a good one.